Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we'd like to welcome you to today's show, where John is going to tell us more about it.
Yeah, so an exciting one today. We have got the awakening stages. So this is really interesting because it's a chance for you to interrogate yourself as to where you are on your journey, right? Because we're all into some sort of awakening stage because, put it this way, if you were living in blissful ignorance, the chances are that you wouldn't be here with us right now. So therefore, you have at the very least spiritual curiosity, and then there are various stages that build out from there. And we've got a section with Elizabeth April that covers that off. And again, just for those who may be less familiar with Elizabeth's work, she is a remote viewer extraordinaire. I think she is wonderful at what she does, and she reports back to her community. And she has this once a month one that she does where she connects with the Galactic Federation of Light, and some very interesting information comes from that. And I was subscribed to that and get the inside track. It's through her elizabethapril.com website rather than on YouTube. But yeah, fascinating information. And so we always like to tap into Elizabeth's work. And then we go from there and we start to take a little look at Antarctica. Now, many of you may be aware that things are not quite what they seem down there. And that it is a fascinating subject on its own. And we're going to actually do two shows on that because today's really sets the scene. And next week we do an even deeper dive into it because the level of fascination around it is quite something. So, first off, I suppose just to say to everybody who's joined us today, thank you, thank you, thank you for being with us. Love having our community around us. And again, as ever, any comments, any thoughts, anything you want to share, and particularly where this, where are you in your journey of awakening? Because once you hear these stages, it'll be, okay, I'm a number two or I'm a number three or whatever. So again, an opportunity to share across the community. Couple of notices, I suppose, just to align with what we've been doing recently. If you do like our Elevated Planet content, then please do like, share, and subscribe because it is important. We don't measure very high on the YouTube algorithm. So if people don't share the work, then typically they don't see it. So anything that that resonates, anybody you know would resonate with this kind of message, please do share it. And the other thing is, of course, that the donation-based channel is what we are. We are a voluntary donation-based channel. So for those who are strapped and short of funds and all the rest of it, don't worry about it. Okay. Anybody that values our work and would like to help us to meet the costs of running this, we are exceptionally grateful, and we're exceptionally grateful to those who have contributed, whilst totally understanding those who are not in a position to do so. Anyway, just planting that out there. Oh, and there is going to be a PayPal link in the description below that you will be able to reach us on. If I better make a note of that because I don't think it's actually there. Right. Okay, PayPal link down below if anybody who wants to share. So I don't think we're going to delay too long before we go into this first section. Anything you want to add before we go to that first section, Jolé?
Yes, I just want to let everybody know that I'm just going to be off camera for today because I had the unfortunate accident during Mercury retrograde where I hit the deck. And so I have a fat lip and a chipped tooth, but I will be back in full effect next week. Just let me fix the tooth. So you will hear me, you will not see me.
Yeah, and I just do want to that extent, I do want to offer my deepest gratitude to Jolé for being here today, because it's not just the tumble, but I know that there are a lot of family things going on at the moment that are really, sort of like the things that people have to cope with from time to time, but they're never fun. It's one of those things where
Mhm.
I'm just delighted, Jolé. Thank you, thank you, thank you for
Oh,
being here with us.
I'm it. We have to stay on course because life happens. The great wheel of life turns, and it's like we have to, I do, me, raise our vibration to understanding that things come and things go. And what you have to do is stay in a loving state of neutrality as best as you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jolé. Truly
Absolutely.
value having you here as my partner in crime here at
Same here,
Elevating the
John.
Planet.
Thank you.
So, okay, this is what we're going to do then, guys. We are going to go through to this first section. So, if you bear with me a second, and then we'll see you on the other side.
She's saying that there are like three main stages that humans are going through right now. Okay. Obviously, there are a ton of different areas and stages, whatever, that people are going through. If you resonate with one of these stages, comment below and like, let's see where the community is at. She said stage one is where people are obsessed and focused on the elites, the shadow government, the reptilians, the UAP files, the Epstein files, the conspiracies, the agendas, and not just like hyper focused on it, but like, yeah, like that is like, that's their rabbit hole that they're going down. Like, obviously questioning everything, but a lot of fear, a lot of like, fuck the government energy, a lot of like, I don't want to be here anymore, a lot of like even apathy of like, there's nothing I can do about this. They're too powerful. Here I am. Okay. So there's that stage. And then obviously the stage before that she didn't even bring up is just people in complete blissful ignorance, which is like a lot of people. But we're talking about this community in particular. So stage one, right? Like conspiracies, agendas, rabbit hole, red pill, blue pill type of vibe. Stage two is, hold on. Yeah, so it's stage two is the purging and the detoxing from the lower frequencies. So it's a lot of health issues, a lot of exhaustion, a lot of lack of motivation, a lot of like internal contemplations, anxiety, even like borderline depression, like just this feeling of complete nothingness. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what left versus right is. I don't know what up versus down is. I don't know where I'm going. Like, nothing is fulfilling, nothing is satisfying, and you're just at a complete loss. But then also the health issues, a lot of health issues. Your hair's falling out, you have headaches, you have body aches, you're in and out of the hospital, you have weird sort of inflammation places, you're really hungry, you're not hungry, you're throwing up, all the things. Okay, that's the second stage. And she said that's the stage of purging. You're purging out, like you've got nothing left because every ounce of your being is releasing. Okay. And that's when you're like in between sort of the old self and the new self. And then stage three, okay, when you do really start to be like, okay, well, something's got to give. Like, I have to change my life. I have to find my focus. I have to, like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want change. That statement, I want change. I am ready for change. I fucking deserve change. I deserve a better life. It changes everything. I'm not even kidding. It's not something you just say, it's something you feel. When you get to that point, watch out. She's saying that the third stage is like literally a spiritual up-leveling, which you would think sounds great. It's not great. I'm telling you right now, it's not great. My lovely dear friend is going through just the most intense spiritual awakening. So it's like, and she's been an astrologer for a long time, and now all of a sudden it's like, boom, like next level. It is hearing things, seeing things, wild, vivid dreams, getting contacted by extraterrestrials in your dreams. It's insomnia, it's anxiety, it's hypersensitivity, it's not being able to handle anyone's bullshit anymore. It's all of that. It's like seeing shit out of the corner of your eye, It's like, oh my, am I going crazy? Like, what is happening? So spiritual up-leveling or spiritual awakening, like, it sounds fun. It's not fun. It's like not a good time. It's not. And then she was talking about how after that, You ground back into your body, you anchor into the new frequency, and then you're like, fuck yeah, it is go time. New opportunities, new people, new friends, new manifestations, new abundance, new motivation, new energy, and you're just go, go, go. Okay? She's talking about those stages. Where are you guys at right now? It's okay. It's okay to be in any one of those stages. You're definitely not in the blissful ignorance stage, or else you literally wouldn't be here. So you're definitely in one of those four, I would say. Okay. I think she just needed to lay that out. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Micca. That was amazing. Try and remove yourself as much as possible from the agendas and the conspiracies in the world. I said this actually in a recent video, and then we'll move on. I said, if you have an emotional reaction to my content, to especially the conspiracy content, if you have a negative emotional reaction to the agendas and conspiracy content, then you might want to take a bit of a break from it. Because what that means is you're not just objectively observing it like I do, right? For the most part, every once in a while I have a little tantrum. But you're feeding it your energy through your emotional reaction. And I don't want to do that to you. And it's not good to do that in general. And this is what Micca was saying.
So interesting, isn't it? I like the point again that Elizabeth finished with there, talking about conspiracy theories, about how, it depends how you take them on board. Because, I personally, I do enjoy listening to conspiracy theories. An interesting point, actually, I saw this yesterday. A guy from the CIA, who was a whistleblower, went to prison for whistleblowing, and he was talking about that. And he was saying that a few decades ago, the CIA actually created the term of conspiracy theories because it was a way of discrediting anything that was being investigated. Honestly, quite rightly, most of the time. Again, you have to, you exercise discernment because there is just as much disinformation out there as there is genuine information. So you have to find out what feels right. That's the point, right? It's not what, and again, this is looking through the lens, not through the lens of the ego. That's important because the ego will try and railroad you back into the programming and conditioning that we've had over the decades. This is a different time. This is where we don't rely on the old ego, right? This is where we transcend the ego and we get back to the heart-based consciousness, right? That's where our true measure of discernment sits. So, and interesting, the next section is actually a conspiracy theory or conspiracy fact. And we will be going into that. So again, if you have an aversion to that sort of thing, if you get triggered, then, bear that in mind. But it's fascinating information. And it kind of like, to me, I just look at these things as very upbeat because this is reflecting the present, but also past history. But it also tells us why things are changing and how they're changing. So to me, there's a lot of really valuable information within this. And of course, you have to also decide whether it's going to be truth or deluded nonsense for you as well. Again, resonating at this point here. So going through these 4 stages of awakening. Now, I do remember my blissful ignorance stage, and that was all the way up to, what would it have been? I suppose all the way up to 2018 was kind of pretty much blissful ignorance. I was stuck in the world of, I say stuck in the world. I was working in the world of finance out in the United States, and I loved the job. Actually, I really got an awful lot out of working for this for in the international finance arena for many decades. Because I just got to sort of experience so many different things in so many different cultures across what we were doing because it was very international. And so it really was a good training ground, but I was in that blissful ignorance stage. Never knew any of this stuff. It was just woo-woo nonsense. Why would anybody believe that sort of rubbish, Then 2018, the gates were blown off that particular version of reality, and I realized I had to go for a complete rethink. And 2020, early 2020, then Jolé popped into my life at a reading, and everything then is like just snowballed from there. I love this journey. So Then going into this conspiracy theories, yeah, absolutely. Conspiracy theories, conspiracy facts in some cases. I have found it fascinating, but I don't find that it triggers me. You know, I do find that I think my general setting these days is kind of more like a feeling of liberation and joy because I'm not having to do the day job anymore. So I'm kind of allowed the freedom to think more openly. And having researched this stuff now for 8 years plus, you start to realize there's a fabulous time ahead of us just awaiting because we are awakening to the magnificence of who we are. And we are magnificent, right? It's amazing. That's why I get so excited about it. And, so going through this though, so conspiracy theories, I've definitely been through that lot. Purging and detoxing. And I was trying to think about this, certain health issues and that, minor, relatively minor. I'd like to think I've transcended that stage, but I can't think of having gone through what felt like the health issues, the low energy. I always get it that from time to time, right? Because everything is like cyclical. Sometimes you're on the low point, sometimes you're on the high point, and then the purging and detoxing, and then that point where you say, "I want change. I am ready to change my life." And that spiritual up leveling takes place, which doesn't sound like very much fun at all. Now, and it got me thinking, have I bypassed that somehow? Because, I do feel like I'm ground into the new frequency. I'm in that phase of go, go, go. But I don't know because, and here's one of my theories. As a left brainer, right? As a man, I think that I am less emotionally sensitive than many are. And typically, the feminine side of things is more open, very right brain, and that's more creative, more emotionally sensitive, more um, empathic. And I think somehow I might have been insulated from that to a degree just by being a man who's kind of a little bit more not totally immune to it at all. And but I try and tune into all the high frequencies. I always try and I mean, I love life, right? I mean, I love the fact that we have this opportunity to step into our power. And I feel that that is the journey that we're on. We're starting to uncover the truth of who we are. And it's a joyous thing. It's a liberating thing. It's something that brings us freedom. But it's not immediately from mainstream version of reality to whom this would seem like, deluded nonsense all the way through to the very side of it. And I know there's plenty of people out there who've been on this journey for many decades, and like unlike me, I've been doing this for like 8 years and a bit. But for those who've been on it for many decades, they understand this stuff more than I do. But hey, I'm not complaining because I've just loved this journey and I'm grateful to that we've got our community and I'm working with Jolé. So with that said, I am going to bring Jolé back for your thoughts. What do you reckon, Jolé?
Here I am. I'm so used to doing the camera too. Uh, that's a beautiful story about how you began to awaken. And I think it's a lot for us, similar. It was me, it was after 9/11, and I went down that rabbit hole very deep. And it took me to energy healing because I said, I saw the ninth gate, and that movie really transformed my desire. I did not want to find Satan or go down, I wanted to go towards the light. So then I would say that's a pivotal moment for me. And also being ill, and not knowing what the reasons are behind it. As above, so below. So there's this emotional intelligence and spiritual development that takes place in order to really heal. I'm still in the process of that, but all of us, we have these similar stories because the creator is saying to you, come back home. Remember who you are. I am within you. All of that stuff, a conspiracy, it's there. I want you to understand, forgive yourself, love yourself, let go of the shame and the guilt, and work towards your purpose, right? So it is those 4 stages that she speaks about is really, yeah, it's challenging, but once you're on the other side of them, it is really giving you your sovereignty and your freedom to remember, and she says another thing I love, which is deserving, right? And so, that to really feel that on a deep level is something that we want to cultivate as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a fascinating journey, and I would encourage anybody that has a clear idea of where they are on the path and any comments they want to share, please do drop it in the comments below. Always interested to hear how the community is getting along with these things. But other than that, Jolé, do you think we should accelerate through into the next section?
Absolutely. Let's move on.
Right. So, having Elizabeth give us the warning about the conspiracy theories and agendas and how you respond to that, we're going to dive straight into it. So, and again, but it is a very valid point, because when you are triggered by these things and it makes you angry or afraid, then you are feeding your energy into the problem. If you can rise above it, if you can do the Pam Gregory thing, look at it from your eagle's perch perspective and understand this is part of the world that we're leaving behind, and but it's a good thing to be aware of truth, right? So this is where we're heading for next, and really it takes us again down to the Antarctic, where was the Antarctic Treaty of 1959, which pretty much closed off the airspace around there, and from a group of countries that came into that. And we are going to rely here, we're going to go to start off with Darius J Wright, remote viewer extraordinaire once again, much like Elizabeth. And it's some fascinating information here, and it just begins the journey, because from there we go into the work of Sarah Breskman Cosme, her hypnotist journey to Avalon. So we've got a piece from that. Again, that piece is done. Darius's piece is remote viewing that gives him that experience. For this second piece, it is done through the gift of hypnotic regression. And that is where that information comes from. Sarah Breskman Cosme was an acolyte of Dolores Cannon and has continued her work since Dolores went over to the other side back in October of 2014. God bless her. And I think you'll find this really interesting. So prepare yourself for, again, a little bit of conspiracy fact. That's my version. And we'll see what you think, and let's get into that now. So bear with me a second. We are going to switch screens.
There's a point in time within this entire construct where all things were open to all souls. All of the realms were open. All of the other land masses were still there. There's other land masses within the earthly realm that are here. This is where a lot of Uriti races are. When you go beyond the poles, this is why they have the Antarctic Treaty. You're not allowed to go past a certain point. And why do you think that is? Because beyond that point are certain things that they don't want the public to see. And these things are, like I said before, is where you get these beings. Okay. I remember being out of my body, seeing part of in Antarctica, some of the original bodies, giant bodies, are still in stasis. The pyramids are there as well. Certain pyramids that are still activated as well. There's still activation points here within the earthly realm of pyramids underneath the ocean. So at a point in time, all of this was open. And so when I talk about that time, heaven on earth, for example, right? That's not here now, obviously, but that was at a point in time. All was here. That's why you have all the history here. You can find all the history here, fragments of it, the ones that they haven't destroyed anyways.
What is really in Antarctica? There are multiple government bases in Antarctica, including a Nazi base known as Base 211. The Nazis never truly lost the war. They never disappeared. Some extraterrestrial races also have civilizations beneath the ice, in ancient cities with entrances to Middle Earth or Hollow Earth. How you perceive Antarctica depends on your belief system. If you believe it's at the bottom of a spherical Earth, you might envision an entrance at the ice cap. There are 4 gates within the ice wall, guarded by beings. Though Antarctica seems far from the sun, It's warmed by the energies from the universe's center. What would we find if we looked under the ice? You discover signs of ancient civilizations, including pyramids. These were built around the same time as the Atlantean pyramids, though different in style and purpose. Each pyramid has its own unique function. Some for energy, some for initiation, some to stabilize the planet. What are the governments doing in Antarctica? They are working on reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. They also possess environmental weather weapons. One of these weapons involves using super cold magnets to create chaos in the ionosphere. Who is behind this? They aren't part of a system like governments or corporations. They simply run these operations. Many are connected to negative energetic sources that feed off fear and control. How did they discover this place? And how do the Nazis fit in? Hitler and the Nazis were in communication with the tall whites and other extraterrestrial beings with dark agendas. During World War II, several extraterrestrial ships crashed, and the beings were captured. This forced the beings to reveal knowledge, which is how much of the technology came to be known. Who are the extraterrestrials who work with humans? The beings that work with humans are usually from the past or the future. At the nexus point, humanity is presented with a choice to become Greys, Arcturians, or something else. This point is critical because it's where we decide to advance only through technology or evolve spiritually. The nexus point is important not only to humans, but to the extraterrestrials as well. They are watching because our decisions here shape what we become. Do we each get to choose, or is this a collective decision? It's individual. Different people will experience different realities based on what they are ready for. Some will only follow technology and live in advanced cities, while others will take a spiritual path, becoming superhumans. People will follow their own paths, but with a greater understanding of technology, spirituality, and reality, they will have more freedom to decide what they want to believe and become. Haven't we been here before, choosing between technology and spirituality? Yes. This cycle has repeated for 3 ages, but now, at this nexus point, we have the chance to break free. We are standing at a crossroad where new potential energies can emerge, offering a different path for everyone, rather than falling back into the same destructive patterns. What must we do differently? Choose from your heart, not your mind. You said humans were the only ones with unlimited potential. Could you tell me more? Those humans who continue to evolve spiritually will become like Shiva, superhumans in light bodies. How do they achieve this? It's through the resonance of your heart. Emotions guide everything you see and experience. Emotions are unstoppable forces of creation within the human being. When you connect your heart to your pineal gland and stop worrying about the conflicts in your mind, you'll begin to evolve into a light body. This transformation is a powerful, radiant existence, one of glowing light rather than dense matter. Becoming a superhuman is the ultimate power one can achieve in their existence. Why are these beings so powerful? Because they can master and control their emotions. Humans can navigate the underworld and the upper worlds because of their ability to align their emotions with the frequencies they wish to experience. Are there continents on Earth that we've never been told about? Yes, there is much more to Earth than you could comprehend. Your understanding of Earth's shape has been programmed into your belief system, but this book is awakening those who read it. This book has been meticulously designed to awaken something deep within its readers. It acts as a key, unlocking hidden knowledge that has long been buried. For those ready to receive it, it shatters the chains of outdated beliefs and unhealed traumas, allowing them to step into a clearer, more powerful understanding of reality. This isn't just a book, it's a portal. It reveals the world not as it has been portrayed, but as it truly is. A realm of boundless magic. And humans? They are the ultimate magicians, capable of creating miracles once they remember their own power.
So we are magicians. We just got to step back into our power. And, you know, that book is a portal, right? I definitely recommend, okay, this, right? This book was where that came from. And Hypnotist Journey to Avalon, fantastic. It's so inspirational, and you kind of like, again, it's from here, you know it to be true, right? Well, sorry, I speak for me. I know it to be true in my version of reality. But of course, we all have our own version of reality. And but I would encourage anybody who has not read it to explore that, because you learn so much. Now, one of the things I wanted to touch on there, the emotional control, right? If you control your mind, you control your reality. So what was spoken about there as, that's how it happens, is that we live in this emotional spiral of high frequency emotions and low frequency emotions, everything from love, unconditional love, all the way down to fear and division and anger and all that. So part of the human journey is to traverse up and down that. But what you find is that once you start to get into realizing the truth of who we are, you don't tend to descend down into that fear cycle nearly as much. Okay, there'll be times when it might be appropriate for that, but it's because it's appropriate rather than just living your life in fear, which many people do. That's one of the big problems out there at the moment, is that people live kind of in that fight or flight mentality because they listen to the media, they listen to all those things that are out there which are deliberately fed to keep us small. So it's understanding that blissful ignorance stage exists, right? That takes us back to what was spoken about, which was Micca from the Galactic Federation there through Elizabeth. That blissful ignorance can lead to a life in the lower end of the emotional spiral. And it's not a good place to be, because that's where you're out of balance, out of harmony. That tends to create disease and all the rest of it. So once you can start to awaken in this journey and start to elevate your frequency and elevate your consciousness, then you can be a light bearer for others around you, and they will kind of see that you're not in fear and maybe get curious as to why. So we can only look after ourselves, right? So that's the thing. You focus on yourself, you focus on your own energy, you create your highest expression of consciousness that you can. And it's all a journey, right? We're all adding incrementally to this journey all the time. But once you reach that phase and things are happening in the world where people are starting to get a little bit discombobulated, let's say, then you can be that lighthouse in the storm, right? So that's kind of the way that it works. But, the emotional control is so important because that's where you create your reality from, the universal mirror effect. And that's why, again, Jolé and I have put together the Moon Alchemy meditations. And in fact, I noticed Karen, who's here today, I'm meeting up with Karen actually on Tuesday for a coffee to talk it through because she's interested in it. And I want to give her, because amazingly, given the fact that we have an audience that spans the world, albeit, everything from Hawaii all the way to the UK and lots of the Americas as well. So the interesting thing is that Karen lives literally 2 to 3 miles down the road from me. So it's a rare opportunity. So looking forward to meeting you, Karen. Anyway, but yeah, the Moon Alchemy meditation, which gets into the not just into the emotional state, which is where we create our reality from by putting that out into the universal mirror. What you put out, you get back. So you make sure that whatever your world of unspeakable beauty is like, that's what we put into that meditation, and then we feed it to you. Like, you can listen to it on a daily basis. You steep yourself in it, because the more you steep yourself in it, the more it happens. It starts to materialize. It creates itself on the etheric plane, then it comes through to reality. Anybody who's interested in that, it's got a beautiful Gabrielle, 2 beautiful Gabrielle guided meditations there to help you with that as well, which you have your version of unspeakable beauty sandwiched into the middle of it. So anybody who's interested, just drop me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.live, and we will get in touch with you and explain to you what it's about and how we do it. And if it appeals to you, then come on board and join the Moon Alchemy crew that we already have navigating their way through their own manifestations right now. But But yeah, I do love that. As I say, that we are the magicians, and going through that four stages of awakening is all important to take us to that point where our latent abilities start to come online, and all of a sudden we can all be those magicians that we truly are. So, oh yeah, and the other thing is as well, and this other book again, we've spoken about it a lot recently, part way through it. And one thing I didn't mention to you, Jolé, is that I did actually buy the meditations that go with the book. So there's
Yeah.
meditations that go, yeah, and that's so basically we can touch base on that one and go through them together as well when the opportunity arises. But yeah, Drunvalo Melchizedek's work here really helps us to get into our power. The Awakening the Illuminated Heart workshops that he does care of. I mean, I've gone through Viola Rose over in Sedona. She's brilliant. She's wonderful at being one of those only 100 teachers that are around the world teaching this. But yeah, it's something well worth exploring for anybody who hasn't done that. It's actually a very readable book because I know his first two, which came out some 25 years before and before that, they take a lot more effort to get through. This one actually does make sense, and the meditations that go with it as well. But it helps us to tap into the magicians that we are, because it really is about realizing our power and how to step back into that, because we've been dumbed down. We've been dumbed down. And this, as I say, this Antarctic thing is only part one. Part two we do next week, and we go under the ice, basically. We go under the ice, we explore. So get your torches ready, get your grapple hooks ready, and you can come down there with us. So yeah, and this idea where Darius was talking about the construct, and there are other land masses. And again, that has been corroborated again through the Hypnotist Journey book. And it is interesting, isn't it? It really is interesting. Again, we're digging deeper under the surface of that next week. All this thing about giant bodies in stasis that Darius was able to see, the weather weapons that are over there. And again, we've talked a lot about weather weapons over the last few years, and we know there has been some pretty dark deeds where they've been stoking up storms and everything that have done a lot of damage. But we know that this is also coming to an end, so we don't need to be fearful about it. We need to recognize that this has been part of our version of reality that we signed up for before we came here. So, we did this with, an open heart and an open mind, and here we are. We're going through this now, understanding what's happened. And I think weather manipulation and control of weather is in our future. I think because I think that once we get aligned into our magicianhood, if we want to call it, I think that's when we are able to realize that everything around us is alive, and that includes Mother Nature, it includes Mother Earth, clearly, and we can make those communications, and we can kind of make sure that the world around us is something that is beneficial for everyone. And that means all of consciousness and creation, not just humanity. This is not just about humanity. This is about everything. So I think that's really an important point. Okay, and the other thing that Darius mentioned was that he said there was a point at which it was open. Heaven on earth was here on earth, going back in time. And it's not this point in time, which I think is pretty obvious. But I know that, again, I think it was within the Hypnotist book, The Hypnotist Journey to Avalon. They explain this, and they say, yeah, they used to be, in fact, it was Thoth the Atlantean, who explained that there used to be an eighth dimensional version of Earth before this ascension program actually began, which is where they had to introduce duality. At that time, it was more about the unity consciousness, which is what we're going back to, heart-based unity consciousness. But of course, we had to go into this era of separation, of duality. But prior to that was an eighth dimensional version of Earth where it was amazing, absolutely brilliant. The ability to instantly create a reality and whatever was necessary to, I suppose, create an amazing environment. So that's what we've got to look forward to. That's where we're heading back to. Jolé, can I bring you back in for your comments, please?
That eighth dimensional Earth sounds amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
To to live in a situation like that. And also some of the description that Elizabeth April talks about into the center. I don't know if we saw that, but she also talks about it being something magnificent and being powered by its own sun. And I can agree, when I did the Mother Earth meditation, some of the things that she spoke about, I saw and we moved through. So it's like energy is real, and these things we really want to open up our minds and expand to take in, because what do? They hit those markers inside of us, they activate us to remember who we are. So although it looks like this is some weird out there stuff, what it does, it just opens you up to the possibilities. And if you don't want any infiltration into your energy, let's say that there's some people, they want to see UFOs, they want to see aliens in there, wake up and it's at the edge of your bed, people that want to do that and see that. And there's others of us that are like, you know what? Talk to my higher self. You don't infiltrate my energy. I do not want to see you at the edge of my bed. Do not infiltrate my thoughts. There's a way to do that, right? So there are options with this opening up of your energy. Take control of it and take your sovereignty back, because the more we expand and the more we open up, that means there's more for us to learn and take from. So more knowledge and wisdom means more sovereignty over here. But as John talked about, there's got to be some type of ego death, right?
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde will help you with that.
Yes.
Is having an ego death. But once you let go of all that and realize, let me control my emotions and focus them to something beneficial, things really start moving towards activation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Also, one of the things that was spoken about there was this time where people will get to choose. It's an
Mhm.
individual choice. So it's not just a collective consciousness thing. So the good news is that if a large swathe of the population is stuck in the density and can't escape, it doesn't mean that that is the path for everybody, right? So if we've got that high frequency going on, but also that difference between the technology and the spirituality, that particular route, that choice. And it's something that Greg Braden has spoken about at great length as well. Is obviously this idea that we become technological kind of instruments rather than human beings because we go down that particular rabbit hole, which I think is certainly a dark path, a shadow path. And it's something that I think a lot of people who are on their spiritual journeys would realize that that is not the way that they want to be. But ultimately, some people will choose that. And there is no wrong answer to any of this, because everyone, regardless of
Mhm.
whether they choose the light or the shadow, they are aspects of divine consciousness. And it's just a different journey. And everything balances out. Everything is as it should be. So no points, no need for judgment or blame or anything,
Mhm.
right?
Right. I
So,
agree. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on camera. Yeah, you're right. That keeps you stuck. I will tell you, judging, being unforgiving, holding grudges, it really sludges up the insides. That doesn't mean you ever have to talk to that person or deal with them again. But what it does mean is that there's some work you have to do, because why are you this triggered and going into that mode? I suffer from it too. I am not immune. But then I have to go in and I have to do my work and I have to decide, is this a relationship I want to continue? Or is this a situation I want to continue showing up in this way? So sometimes self-awareness is also a great way to begin to up level, is to become, now for women out there, a little less self-awareness maybe at times, but for some of us, if the pendulum swings, try to keep it towards the middle where there's just, what is that? Peace and neutrality kind of lives right there.
absolutely. Yeah, that's amazingly powerful. That neutrality,
Mm.
that's kind of, and again, we've got a show lined up that is going to talk more to that as well, which is really, it's quite enlightening actually. It's again, it taps into the unity consciousness idea and explains it's not actually as easy as it sounds, but there is a process that, because you've really got to get through so much programming and conditioning that we've been subjected to for so many decades. It's probably easier for the youngsters to kind of take it on board. But no, in reality, any of us, and all of us who can take steps in that direction, but understanding that, again, it's the game of life, and to play any game, you've got to understand the rules, right? So it's kind of just the unfolding of the rules. So, okay. So what do you think, Jolé? Shall we head towards the meditation piece?
Yes, let's go on ahead towards meditation. I'm ready.
Great. Okay, so again, we are going to go back to, we're going to do another little section that Darius did, where he was again talking about the heaven on earth. I love this. I love this because, again, you know, a lot of conspiracy stuff and all this kind of stuff going on. But then there's this, what is the ultimate outcome of where we're heading right now? Darius has seen it. So anyway, and then Jolé gives us her usual words of wisdom and meditation, and we can float off on that cloud directly afterwards. So bear with me a second, we're going to switch screens.
Yeah, so there is a completion to this of what I've been showing. And I was showing that as far back as 16 years old by being called Celeste. And the completion of this is what I was showing was a celebration of remembering all things again. And so remembering all things is remembering all things again. The remembering who we are, where we are, the beings that are actually have been here this entire time. People call ETs, extraterrestrials, etc. all come again. That's what I was showing. So yeah, you could say also, if you are biblical, if you need to go through the lens of the biblical sense, heaven does come back on earth again, essentially. But it's an entire completion of this entire, you could say, experience. Because what I've also been shown that all that has been experienced, or all that could have been experienced, has already been experienced by some soul within the entirety of this construct.
Put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. Take a really deep breath in, and as you take that deep breath, know that it's unconditional love that you're breathing in, and it's unconditional love that you're breathing out. As you ground your energy into Mother Earth, with the grounding cord that is 6 inches in diameter connected to your first chakra. Feel it as it moves through the layers of Mother Earth and roots itself in her core. Mother Earth will call in the golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to scrub off anything you're ready to let go of and anything you're ready to release in this meditation. Your higher self is standing at the power position above your crown. Call it back if it's not there. It is commanded, my higher self stand at the power position, a comfortable distance above my crown. It is commanded, my aura layer is 1.5 feet around you, around us, me. And it is commanded that my astral body snaps in, feet and feet, knees and knees, hips and hips, hands in hands, shoulders and shoulders, head and head, fitting inside like a hand fits inside of a glove. So now that our soul architecture is intact, we take a deep breath in of unconditional love. We're breathing out unconditional love. And on the exhale, we open our feet, calling in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. It's going to pool in the bottoms of your feet and start to travel up the side channels of your legs. While simultaneously, 85% cosmic gold life force energy comes cascading down from the heavens, raining down on the higher self, as it then moves into your crown. And this beautiful golden sunlight saturates your brain, moving out any worry, doubt, and fear, as I say, from the prefrontal cortex, going into that cerebrum, that cerebellum, medulla oblongata, cleaning, decalcifying the pineal gland, moving down into the limbic system, opening up those olfactories a little bit more so we can have that really primal sense of smell. However, the primal emotional and survival instinct, drain it out and down as this gold light moves into your arms, opening up and activating more creativity in the heart, pumping that unconditional love and wellness as it moves into the gut, allowing you to bring sweetness in life and digest it with grace and ease as it meets the earth energy in the first chakra. And this integrated essence begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup. It mixes in with that earth energy that's already in your feet. And then it begins moving up your legs into your knees, your thighs, your core, opening up your shoulders into your hands, all the way up into the brain, into the mind, and sprouting out. Now there's things coming in and things going out. So be clear as to the colors, consistency, and the feeling. If you are sick or diseased or exhausted, or you feel that you're in that first stage, go ahead and allow for that earth energy and that cosmic divine life force energy to work together within your body to activate you into that second phase of your development. And you can move out the struggle and the challenge if you so well choose. But sometimes that's a part of the activation. So let's ask for this up level to be done in the most loving and best way with grace and ease for us all. For those of you in phase 2, go on ahead and allow for that energy to sprout out of your feet, hands, and crown chakras, all of us filling up your aura layer. However, get into the mind, moving out those negative thoughts and those limiting beliefs. Heartbreak, take the lesson, let go of the charge. And here, we're going to go ahead and open up our brow chakra like the lens of a camera, putting 2 roses to the right and to the left of our aura layer. And we're going to clean out the center of our head of all of the worry, the doubt, the fear. And as we're putting this energy into the roses outside our aura, a beautiful golden moon appears above your higher self. And it has a high-powered magnet on it with your name in it. And it's calling all of your energy back from the choices and decisions that you made that may be dark, may have hurt someone or hurt you. Any guilt about an experience, this life, past life, parallel lives, all planes, all levels. Any shame, experiences that brought that to you, put that in the roses, put the people, the place, all of the surroundings, the scenario in the rose. Move it out of the center of your head. Make space for what is your new reality, and that is what is real. All of this now no longer exists. So get it out of your mind. Move it into those roses outside your aura layer and call all your energy back into that golden moon above your higher self. Anyone that tried to shame you, call your energy back from that and let the shame drain down your grounding cord. Any guilt from experiences, ask for forgiveness from that person. Then call all your energy back. Give them their energy back by putting them in the rose outside your aura. Call all of your energy back to this golden moon above your head. All of the darkness that you may have experienced, you are calling your energy back from it. And it goes into that golden moon. Why? Because the moon can filter out all of the stuff that doesn't belong to you. It disintegrates it in that moon. The moon is so beautiful. Some people may say, well, it's a construct, but even if it is, it's there for a reason. Whatever that reason is positive, because our perspective says so. So we see the moon as this glorious symbol of life, creation, harvest, gives us light. It also helps us incubate. And all of the positive qualities in the moon, you're going to go ahead and visualize your higher self reaching up, grabbing that moon, bringing it down through itself and bringing it down into your crown as it bursts into trillions of little cells, merging with all the atoms in your body. As this essence moves down into your core, bringing so much joy, sweetness into your legs, bringing motivation, action, discipline, all the way down to your feet, bringing grounding. And this moon essence then goes down the grounding cord, chasing away those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles into the core of Mother Earth. And this beautiful moon energy, it with its mistiness, grounds you, brings your energy back. As you sit in this energy and you decide where you're going from here, be clear. The moonlight can change those films that we talk about. Allow for it to resolve and dissolve any history, to remove any past, and to light the way to your purpose. So from a heart-centered space, as we move into this third phase, I want you to see your Macabre light up with this energy. It's that beautiful your heart space creates this wonderful vessel around you of spiritual elevation. As your heart just pumps with this unconditional love, and that 15% earth and 85% cosmic gold move through your body, bringing wellness, healing, creativity, and life. As the double doors of your heart open and love just pours out, powering this Merkaba. And I want you to see yourself on a golden road. You have walked on this road for so long. Do you see your goal right there? The end of the road is clear. What the Merkaba does is like a jetpack. And the earth energy and the cosmic life force energy mixed in with you powers it. So I want you to go ahead and visualize your feet lifting off the ground, the Merkaba spinning, allowing for you to levitate and see yourself flying towards your destination. The zenith of your purpose, sitting in so much abundance and prosperity. You've worked out that polarity. You're within rhythm of Mother Earth and your own purpose as you ground your energy and you allow for the heaviness of the moon to create this reality as you move toward it in the most loving and best way with grace and ease. Because the fourth stage of this is unspeakable beauty, which is where we're headed, which is where we are now. That's why it's so easy to get there. And you're saying, well, maybe it's not so easy for me. Why? Because you need to say to yourself now, I am worthy and deserving of all of the blessings and the gifts the universe has for me. My sovereignty, my freedom to choose how I want to live my life and add value and be of service. So activate us, divine. Activate our worthiness and deservedness. Fuel our Merkaba towards the zenith of our purpose as this essence moves through you. Hold the space from a place of unconditional love and deserving of self. See the vision as you land in it. And now that you're there, you see like-minded people. Your heart is just full, open. As you take the hands of those around you, there's this great web of love that is created. And in the center of this, we're going to put all of the people who may be struggling, all of the places on earth that are suffering. We're going to put them in the center of this beautiful web of love and allow for this energy to heal them, to restore, to create more of the good stuff. You know who you are. You are responsible and able to take your freedom and do something amazing with it. Because this web of love not only helps those that are in the center of it, but it helps align you as well and us. So as we send out this beautiful energy engulfing mankind, I want you to say to yourself, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Say it a few times as you see yourself holding hands with your tribe as that beautiful web of love surrounds all of us. And in the center are those that need it the most. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Just sit in this energy of a wish fulfilled. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, letting all of you know that it is safe to have your wish fulfilled. So as you see it and feel it, your body wants you to breathe with its rhythm so it knows you are safe having it and living in that kind of world. When you are ready, if you haven't already, those roses outside our aura layer, we're going to give them a push, energetic push, 10 feet away, blow them up, turn them into fireworks. Just positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use. You let that energy move through your body still. As you hold a vision, you see yourself there aligned with your purpose. And you're able to fly now. Spiritually, emotionally. Get to where you want to go. As you take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to close your brow chakra like the lens of a camera. And there should be nothing but you in a comfortable place to sit in the center of your head. Take another deep breath in and close the double doors of your heart and allow for that energy of unconditional love to settle. And on the next inhale, as you exhale, you're going to close your feet and crown chakras like the lens of a camera. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
And we're back. I love that, Jolé.
Thank you.
Oh, I always, I'm just thankful the camera's not on me with my big stupid grin on my face as I'm just laying taking in the.
That'd be nice to see.
Yeah,
Good.
it's just a beautiful feeling. So, it's so healing. It's such
Yeah.
a lovely journey to be on. You know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to all our community who joined us today. I'm grateful to all those who will join us on the recording. I'm grateful to anybody because, I think together, I kind of like to think of us as elevated planet ripple masters, right?
Yes, yes.
We can get out there and we can spread that, yeah, just by being the best version of ourselves. And it is an incremental process, and that continues throughout a lifetime, there's no doubt. But yeah, to be able to be there for other people who will begin this journey, those who are still in that blissful ignorance stage, who maybe are taking in a lot of the narratives that they are fed and taking them as gospel, whereas in reality, there is so many positive things going on in the world right now
Mm-hmm.
that just go completely unreported. They get
Right.
completely bulldozed out the way because there is negativity to talk about. So it does feel like there is a lot of negativity out there, and there is, but there is a bigger swathe,
Mm-hmm.
positive stuff going on in the world not right now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we've seen it just with sports, how it has managed to bring a lot of people together. And it's also shined the light on how human behavior, we can kind of change it to be better, right? Because there's some problems with it, but at the end of the day, most of it is positive. The World Cup has really united the world in
Mm.
an amazing way, So I think that's some of the good news.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. It's the world is coming together. The people are
Hmm.
coming together. Unity consciousness is on its way. It's the ripples are spreading forever outwards, and it's a beautiful time to be here. It's an honor to be on the planet right now. I think when we put on our celestial application, going back to pre-birth, we were very fortunate to be the ones who are going to be here for this time of the shift of the ages, the transition. And
Hmm.
we have our team of guides, masters, angels who are there with us that we need to just keep tapping into, find our intuition and all those great things that you kind of lead us into, Jolé.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I'm just excited for where this all goes.
Yes, I am too. And, keep tuning in to Elevated Planet because we're just continuing to do this work and growing. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and put this out there so we can continue to create a web of love and it can expand. And don't forget, we are also a donation-based channel. And thank you so much for tuning in, and anything you can give, we would appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you again to the community for all the comments that have been filtering through today. I really love the healing and the positive vibes to everybody. And it's lovely. And I know there's a lot of appreciation for you, Jolé. Certainly from
Thank
me
you.
for a start for being here
Yeah,
at a
no, thank
time
you.
where, you're going through challenges on a number of fronts. But um, truly grateful for your support during this time, and
Yeah, thank you.
truly
Well, the
grateful.
only way to change, right, is to keep doing this work, long distance or however. So it is the only thing that has the ability to transform is love.
Yes.
So that's why I show up.
Yeah. No, that's it. Love is the answer to everything.
Hmm.
And he's kind of like he's not how we're conditioned and programmed to believe, but once you start to break down the barriers to this, you realize that the foundation of everything is love and light. We are light. which vibrationally slowed down to the point of physicality and everything. But it's amazing. I love this, love this journey. So, okay, Jolé, is that we're going to call it a day at that?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so.
All right, and just final notices, newsletter goes out tomorrow. The edited version of this show will be available probably later today, and I think that we'll be able to get that out to you. And the other thing, oh, just to mention as well, we normally do a Thursday guided meditation inspired, to back the Pam Gregory initiative. And this time around, we're not going to do that because I am traveling this next week. So we will be back with you live on Sunday, and we will be releasing videos in the interim period. So keep an eye on that. And anybody who wants to be part of the newsletter, or anybody who wants to send us any comments or thoughts, you can email me at johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, and we will always come back to you. So, okay. Are we done, Jolé?
Yep, we're done. Thank you so much, everyone. And John.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future. So take care.
Bye-bye.